In earlier lectures, we understood how to create our own containers and how to run applications inside containers. To quickly review what all steps we did, the first step is we have to create a control group, maybe for memory, and limit the memory whatever we want. We have to create another control group for controlling CPU. Then under this control groups, we started PID namespace, mount namespace. Then we have to create a overlay file system which contains all the files and dependencies required for running my application. Then launch our application. So our application will run inside this container. So these are all the steps to start application inside a container. Too much. Will it not be good if there is a tool which can automate all these steps? Yes. Docker is one of such tool which can automate all these steps and create containers or manage containers. In this lecture, I'll show you how to install Docker so that we can use this Docker in our next steps. Okay, so first step, what I'll do is I'll go to Google and I Google for install Docker. The first link takes me to the Docker documentation. Here, I have to select my operating system. My operating system is Ubuntu. And here I just have to blindly follow all the steps. So there are multiple installation methods to install Docker listed here. I will install Docker using the repository. So I just have to execute these commands blindly. So I just SSH into my Ubuntu machine. I'll execute the commands step by step. First step is done. Second step, I'm blindly executing this one. Then third step, okay, first I have to give yes. Then third step is to create this directory. Okay. Then the next command. Blindly I'm doing nothing else. Um, then the next command. Okay. Then again I have to do an update. Then finally this apt get install docker ce, docker ce, cli, all this command will install Docker. So that's it. Docker installation is done. To check whether Docker is installed properly or not, we can run a small command to check. Let us see. Yep, done. So to check if Docker is running properly, we can just run a simple command docker run hello dash world. Oh, I'm getting an error. Permission denied while trying to connect. Actually, I have to run this command using sudo. Then it will run. See, it is actually running. Fine. This is the expected output after running this. Don't worry about this. Now Docker ran. Fine. But always, if I have to use sudo to execute any Docker command, it is really difficult. It is the documentation says you have successfully installed Docker engine. The Docker user group exists but contains no users, which is why you are required to use sudo to run Docker commands. So here it is asking you continue to this link to allow non-privileged users to run Docker command. So I'll click on this link. Here are some instructions which I have to follow so that I can manage or run Docker commands as a non-root user. So it's always good to do this. So I'll just follow these steps. I'm adding a group called as Docker. It's saying Docker already exists. Okay. Add a user. current user to that group. Done. Then it is saying log out and log back so that group membership is re-evaluated. You can also run this following command to activate changes to groups. Okay, I'll run this instead of logging out and logging back. Okay. Then now I'll try to run this hello world. Let us see. Without sudo. Yes, I got the output without any problem. So Docker commands I can run Docker images. It will list all the images. Yep, fine. Now the installation of Docker is successful and we are able to run Docker commands as a non-root user. I'll see you in next lecture where we'll discuss some basics of Docker architecture and then we'll see various Docker commands. See you in next lecture.